We'll now review some of the most frequently asked questions about Profile and give you the information you need to answer those questions. How is Profile installed? There's a variety of possible ways to install Profile panels. Some of the most common ways include the use of Z-clips or panel cleats, screws, or adhesives. To install panels using Z-clips, first, the Z-clips must be attached to the back of the Profile panel. Z-clips should run the entire width of the panel, and special care should be taken with regards to the length and size of the screws used and where the screws are placed so as not to impact the front finish of the panel. Construction mastic or adhesive should also be used to supplement the screws. A minimum of 3 rows of Z-clips is necessary per 8-foot tall panel. Rows of Z-clips should be situated on the top and bottom edge of the panel, with additional rows spaced evenly between. Also, plywood or solid wood in-wall blocking is required. If you're using panel cleats, then they should be installed in the same way as Z-clips. When gluing multiple panels together, it is necessary to leave space at both ends to allow expansion and contraction of the entire panel system. Glued joints should only be used on smaller installations of 2 to 6 panels or when using recommended panel cleats. Panel cleats will allow the entire feature to expand and contract. Profile panels can also be attached to a wall by screwing directly through the panel. Construction mastic should also be used to supplement the screws. It's required to leave a 1/16 inch gap between panels to allow for expansion and contraction of the wood panels. This technique should only be used on non-wrapped panels that will be painted in the field. Holes in the panel should be pre-drilled and countersunk. After screwing the panel to the wall, a non-shrinking filler, like Bondo, may be used to cover the holes. Please note that non-shrinking filler should not be used between panels. Instead, a flexible seam filler should be used. You should also note that this method is limited to a maximum of 6 panels. If you're using an adhesive to glue the panels directly to the wall, it's required to leave a 1/16 inch gap between panels to allow for expansion and contraction of the wood panels. Alignment of the panels prior to curing is important as the panels cannot be realigned afterwards. An industrial-grade silicone such as Momentive Sil Glaze 2 SCS 2800 can be applied to the back of the panels in combination with 3M 4496 foam tape. Silicone should be applied in dots as it needs moisture or air to cure. Again, alignment of the panels prior to curing is important as the panels cannot be realigned after curing. Panel installations more than 16 feet wide should use panel cleats. There's also a variety of possible ways to install Profile tiles. 3form recommends using 3M VHB 4496 tape to secure Profile tiles to the wall. 3M VHB 4496 is white foam, double-sided tape with permanent adhesive. You should first apply 10 PSF using a J-roller or other application tool. Full cure time for VHB is 72 hours. To adhere just a small number of concrete accent tiles to a wall where the combined weight is less than 50 pounds, you can use a mastic adhesive to adhere the concrete tiles to the wall. 3form recommends Gunther Ultrabond mastic. Apply the Gunther Ultrabond mastic to the back of the 3form tile, then adhere to the wall. It's also recommended to secure the tile with tape or something similar until the mastic is sufficiently cured. Be aware that 30% adhesion strength is reached in 24 hours. If the combined weight is over 50 pounds, 3form recommends using a licensed and insured professional tile installer to adhere the tiles. Please reference our Profile Tiles technical document for additional information. If I specify unfinished in the field, how should I prep the panel for painting? The rule of thumb is to sand and prime the panel until it's ready to be painted. This may take more than one round of priming and painting. For ready-to-paint finishes, 3form fabrication uses the following steps which can easily be replicated in the field. First, sand the MDF using Norton Contour Sponge Medium Grit. Then dust the surface using an air blower. Then apply Valspar white vinyl up to 4 mm using an airless sprayer and allow it to dry for 25 minutes. After it's dry, the process is repeated. This time use Norton Contour Sponge Fine Grit for the sanding. Remove the dust with an air blower, apply another coat of Valspar white vinyl, and then allow it to dry for 25 minutes. When this process is finished, the product will be ready to paint in the field. We recommend a water-based paint, such as a latex paint, although some solvent-based paints such as lacquers can also work. Finally, be aware that 3form does not offer an on-site painting service. What if I don't like the seams? What are my options? In many cases, the strength of the pattern can effectively minimize the seams. However, there are more options to address the paneling. The customer can specify the pattern to run parallel to the seam on the 96-inch side. This method can hide the seam really well. Another method is to specify the panel in either small plank or large plank. This way, with the 4x8 panels in smaller pieces, the seams will become part of the design. Lastly, panels can be specified as unfinished. Then, after installation, the seams can be finished and painted for a seamless application. Does the pattern direction repeat in panels? The answer to this question is yes, in most cases. All of the patterns except for ray are designed to continue horizontally along the 4-foot dimension. In addition, all the patterns except for metric, ray, and zing are designed to continue vertically along the 8-foot dimension. It may also be helpful to note that the metric pattern can be modified to continue in the vertical direction by cutting down the panel slightly. Can profile be cut by 3form to fit to my exact wall or ceiling? Panels can be cut down to fit a specific measurement with a small price premium. Tiles, on the other hand, are a modular grid system and therefore can only be fitted to the nearest full tile size. Can profile be fabricated in the field? Profile can be fabricated in the field to accommodate custom dimensions. However, if this is the case, it should be specified as unfinished for post-manufacturing fabrication. Then, after the on-site fabrication is complete, the product will need to be sanded, primed, and finished. What is the fire rating of profile panels and tiles? Well, when it comes to fire rating, there are 3 specifications that are available: standard MDF, fire-rated MDF, and concrete. Each specification has been tested for flammability and smoke test with the ASTM E8403 standard, and the results were quite good. First, be aware that standard MDF that is unfinished does not qualify for a fire rating. However, standard MDF with the standard finish, including the felt finish, received a Class B rating. Fire-rated MDF with the standard finish received the Class A rating, and the fire-rated MDF that is unfinished also received the Class A rating. That's pretty good. Finally, be aware that concrete is non-combustible. Where is profile manufactured? If the customer orders a ready-to-paint finish, then the material will be manufactured out of Salt Lake City. Otherwise, profile tiles and panels are manufactured in our locations in Florida or in Oregon.